नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। शिल प्रभुपाद की। हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम
राम राम हरे हरे,
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Your turn.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna It's very low maybe. Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna. You want to play? Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone from their heart. Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
निताई गौर प्रेमानंदी शिल प्रभुपाद की
जय.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare.
Jai Gaur Premanande Srila Prabhupada ki.
ओम ज्ञान little lower, you can get it slightly. ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने. नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for coming today on a weekday.
Small intro. I'm going to say the topic.
Mhm. Okay.
Hare Krishna
I
devotees.
don't want to deprive you of the illusion of service.
That is what been assigned to me. Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to the second part of the seminar. Today we are going to discuss deepening our relationships, how to earn trust and address misunderstandings based on Ramayana. We are truly blessed to have His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu with us to enlighten us on this topic. Hare Krishna, we will welcome Chaitanya Charan Prabhu by loudly chanting one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Over to you.
So let's begin with a quick discussion where we can do a recap of what was discussed yesterday. This is a two-part discussion, and in relationships, what was the topic yesterday, broadly speaking? Trust. But what about trust exactly? Yes, it was earning trust. And today the topic will be about reposing or offering our trust to others. So in earning trust, anyone remember the key points that we discussed? Yes, please. Yes, trust is primarily earned through our words and our actions. Which character did we discuss? Bharatma. So, any other points?
Don't see intention in words spoken.
Yes. So sometimes the relationships can break because of some words. So we don't need to see intention. Words spoken, intention. The example of this was? Yes, excellent. Sita and Lakshmana. Okay. What was the core acronym? Care. Okay. Okay. I think I gave it away by core. Okay. Care. So C was? Condemnation. So basically, when something wrong is ascribed to us, then we need to distance ourselves from it clearly, unambiguously. So Bharat condemned what exactly? Yes, the whole conspiracy which Kaikeyi had done, Bharat condemned that unequivocally. Then A was aspiration. So, okay, that's bad, but somebody can say that is bad, but now that it is done, what can you do about it? Let's live with it. No, but what would we like to do? The aspiration. So these two are words. And we discuss also about something about walking and talking. You remember that? Yeah, walk your talk, but there's one more thing apart about it. Yeah, we'll come to that. So it's a good point. Focus is that when we take, people are doing things, we can take them personally. How can you accuse me like this? But better to take it objectively. But something about walk your talk a little bit more. In bhakti, talking is also a part of the walking. Remember that it's not just that these two are separate things. So one part of walking is also talking. Now the problem is, if talking is the only walking that is being done, then it's a problem. It's a part of walking. What are the remaining two parts in this? Actions? Rectification. So, Bharat went all the way to the forest, and to add weight to his appeal, he took his leaders from the entire kingdom with him. And then sometimes what has been done can't be fixed. And what do we do at that time? Elevate. We try to, as a rectification is of the situation, but elevation is broadly of the morale. Excellent. So, nice. So today we will talk about the other side. Are there any other points which are remaining which you would like to add? I think we covered almost all of it. Was there anyone here today who is not there yesterday? Okay. So you are the efficient person. Yeah, that's right. Without coming yesterday, you got most of it today. But let's move forward. So now with respect to reposing trust, I'll focus on one particular relationship, the relationship between Sugriva and Ram, and we'll also discuss other aspects of it. Generally speaking in life, there are many different kinds of distresses that can come upon us. Among various kinds of distresses, let's look at it. I can use the word adversity. There are broadly three kinds of adversity that can be there. One is calamity. Then the other is atrocity. Is there any difference between these two? What does calamity mean? Yes. Or yes. Yes. Atrocity is intentional. It is done by some particular agent, person. So among calamity and atrocity, which is more difficult to bear? Atrocity. Why? Yeah, it's intentional towards us. That's one reason, very important. Anything else? It hurts more, correct. It's targeted towards us, it's also targeted by someone towards us. So how could you do like this to me? So this is where betrayal comes in. Betrayal is not exactly, it did not be an atrocity, but it feels like an atrocity. In a relationship, sometimes we lose a loved one because of age or because of disease, accident. That's painful. But that's an adversity which is like a calamity. But when we lose someone because they disappoint us, they betray us, then it is even more painful. So generally adversity can be caused by nature around us. It can be caused by people, or the third is it can be caused by our own mistakes, our own stupidity. Stupidity might seem like a harsh word, but I'm specifically using that word because sometimes we do make terrible mistakes. So basically these three correlate with the three kleshas. Which are the three kleshas? So which one among these, which one is which one? Yeah, Adhyatmika. Adi? Okay, you're all doing a guesswork now. Guesswork is the easiest way to avoid work. You keep doing guesswork, something will be right. Okay, so who would like to say which is which? Adi-daivik is which one? Calamity. Daivik means what is caused by higher forces. So Adi-daivik is that which is caused by forces beyond us. So for example, if a dam breaks down, we could say that is Adi-daivik. But if you come to know that the dam breaks down and there's a flood, that's Adi-daivik. But if you come to know that terrorists blew up the dam, that's why a flood occurred, that would be atrocity. That will be which one then? Adi-bhautik. And then say if we knew If say we were driving in a particular area and our phone, our car GPS gave a warning. There's a flood over here, don't go in that area. And still he said, oh, maybe I'll make it through. We just go through it recklessly. And then we get caught and swept away by the flood. Then what has happened is, that is something which is we have caused to ourselves. Now, this is not a black and white categorization, because we can say that sometimes disease can also come under adhyatmic, and we can't really blame ourselves for a disease. But then disease, if you ascribe it to some germ, then it can be called adhibhautik also. See, the point is not necessarily to categorize, to have a watertight list. It is to get a broader context. So the point I'm talking about here is, in relationships, if we are disappointed or betrayed by someone, that is among the greatest pains that a person can experience. And when there is any kind of betrayal, it could be in a husband-wife relationship, it could be in a business partnership, it could be among friendship, it could be among various relatives, whatever it is. See, it is actually at various levels. For functioning in life, trust is a vital necessity. And naturally, at one level, we lose trust in that person. That's a perfectly natural reaction. If you betrayed me, I cannot trust you. I won't be a fool, as they say. Cheat me once, shame on you. Cheat me twice, shame on me. So naturally we lose trust in that person. But things can go further, because we lose trust in everyone. If it happens repeatedly, then we start thinking that, oh, nobody is trustworthy. As in California, I saw a car bumper. It said, the more I get to know people, the more I love my dog. So the idea is that people just can't be trusted. Let me have nothing to do with them. Now, if we just lose trust in everyone, that is dangerous. We cannot function in life like that. Our heart will become very cold. We'll subject ourselves to loneliness. So when we say a lot of people are suffering from loneliness today, it is because of both reasons. On one side, nobody wants to be lonely. We could say it is because people lack social skills to develop relationships. That's one way of looking at it. But it is that often we sentence ourselves to loneliness based on our past experiences. Okay, this person let me down, this person let me down, this person let me down. Better let me not have anything to do with anyone. But even more damaging than losing trust in anyone is losing trust in ourselves. That means losing trust in our own capacity to judge, to evaluate. So, we all can make mistakes. But if we start feeling that my judgment itself is not trustworthy, then it's almost like we come to a state of paralysis. We just can't move forward. So now, normally we use the word faith and doubt as opposites. And that is one way of looking at it. But it is not that simple. So, in one sense, we can say that when faith increases, doubt decreases. That's one way of looking at it, and this is a valid way. If faith increases, doubt decreases. But another way of looking at it is that in the Bhagavatam, doubt, the third canto in the section on Sankhya, doubt is seen as a sign of intelligence. Atha samshayo viparyasa. That the first characteristic of intelligence is doubt. It is only intelligent people who can question the narrative that is being fed to them. And as children, for example, they don't have the capacity to doubt. And that's natural. When baby is newborn and the baby is crying and the mother picks up the baby and starts breastfeeding the baby. At that time, the baby doesn't have the capacity to doubt. If the baby starts doubting over there, he or she won't survive. So, in one sense, so this is more of a contradictory vision of faith and doubt. Faith and doubt, they are opposites. We want to increase our faith and we want to decrease our doubt. But another way of looking at these two is that they are complementary. Whereas doubt is the first step in the exercise of intelligence. So whenever we are told something, we evaluate it, we just believe it. And in fact, if you consider, without this capacity to doubt, nobody will ever explore spiritual life. Because material life promises us so many pleasures. Eat this, watch this, touch this, buy this. And we'll think, oh, okay, I'm not happy right now. It's because I have not explored new things. I'll keep exploring new things. So it's only when we doubt the propaganda that the world is making, maybe there is something more to life. If there is, I want to explore. So in this sense, doubt is a sign of intelligence. But the problem is, doubt is not the only sign of intelligence. Ata samshayo viparyasa. So after we doubt, hey, am I right here? Then the Bhagavatam says, okay, this perception was wrong. Viparyas, okay, this was misapprehension. And then after that, gradually we come to a place of nishchaya. Nishchaya is certainty. Where now we can never have absolute certainty in life because we are finite beings. But that is the place where we come to a level of reasonable faith. So in this mode of evaluation, actually faith and doubt, they are tools in the journey of life. So if we are driving a car, for a car, we need a brake and we also need the accelerator. So in America, we use the word gas. So in India, if you use the word press the gas, how do you press gas? gas can't be pressed. So, but anyway, the point is if you're driving a car, we need both a brake and an accelerator. If we try to drive a car with only the brake, then the only thing is that we will drive people around us crazy. We are not driving anywhere at all. That's why I said only doubting will take us to a state of paralysis where we will not be able to do anything in life. On the other hand, never doubting. That's like driving in a car with only the accelerator. That's dangerous. There are sometimes we may be going on a wrong track. Sometimes the car may be veering off track. So doubt and doubt and faith. Both of these are two complementary tools. And now, of course, how could both of these visions go together? See, with respect to the truths of life, we want to go from a journey of doubt towards faith. So, for example, the existence of God, the existence of the soul, the existence of a world beyond this world. There are fundamental spiritual truths, and in developing an understanding of those truths, we want to go from the journey from doubt towards faith. But actually, in leading our life, in making choices during the journey of life, there has to be this both things. There has to be faith and doubt, both as tools that we use for moving forward. And that's why blind faith is not a virtue. Blind faith means we just don't evaluate, we don't use our intelligence. That is not a virtue. That is naivety, and that's being naive, and that can lead to a person being exploited. So why are we talking about this? I was talking about two distinct points over here. First is that, why is reposing faith a challenge? Because we are often disappointed or even betrayed by people. And that's why we hesitate. And this hesitation is not undesirable. If that hesitation is all that we have, then it is undesirable. So, but that hesitation is natural. So now let's, with this background, let's look at the story of Sugriv. Sugriv was the younger brother of Vali. And they were much more than brothers. They're the best of friends. They had fought wars together. In the language of today's teenagers, we can say they were the awesome twosome. They used to fight. And they were undefeatable. Vali was by far better, but still Sugriv was also a competent foil for him, a balance for him. And then somehow circumstantially a misunderstanding occurred. Basically, to make a long story short, Vali had chased a demon into a cave, and he went into the cave and he told Sugriv, stay outside. Sugriv waited and waited and waited. And then Sugriv finally heard only the screaming of the demon and no sound from Vali. Now he had thought that he knew Vali, and Vali would always celebrate after winning. There's no sound from him. He thought that Vali has been killed. And he thought Vali has been killed. Then he started thinking, if this demon is so powerful enough to kill Vali, then it will be difficult for me to contain him. If I can't contain him, if he kills me, then our entire kingdom will be defenseless. And then we will all be destroyed. So therefore, I have to do something. And so he decided that to block the entrance of the cave and trap the demon over there, so that the victory arena of the demon would become its tomb. And he came back, and then because there was no other successor available right now, he was made the king. But then Vali came back. And Vali had survived. He had been so exhausted that he had not celebrated that. When he came out, he found that it has been blocked. He had to try to push his way out. It was extremely difficult. And when he came and saw Sugriv on the throne, he thought, Sugriv deliberately trapped me over there. And then he charged towards Sugriv to beat him up. Sugriv tried to clarify, but Vali was just not ready to listen. And then he basically decided that he's so angry, let me flee from here. But I'll talk with him later when he's calmed down. But unfortunately, when Sugriv fled, Vali thought that confirms my suspicion. Why would he run away if he were not guilty? Now, Sugriv tried to wait for Vali's temper to cool down. And this is normally what happens whenever anger is there. We often tell people, our children, to count till 10 or count till 50. So generally what happens, anger with the passage of time, it subsides. It cools. We cool down. But actually that's not the only thing that can happen. If too much time passes, anger may not become cool, it may become cold. Now what is the difference between cool and cold? Yes, when it's cool, see, anger is by nature an expensive emotion. So in both cases, one does become peaceful because we can't stay agitated for very long. Our body and mind cannot sustain the level of agitation created by anger. But here, one becomes thoughtfully, or often you could say almost introspectively peaceful. Okay, why did this happen? Did I do anything wrong about it? What could I have done better? One starts turning the gaze inwards. But when anger becomes cold, one becomes hatefully peaceful. Anger is hot-headed, hate is cold-blooded. And when this happens, it's very difficult to resolve issues. So in Vali's case, where did his anger go? Yes, it became cold. That's why when there is a festering wound, letting too much time pass is not always a good idea. some time needs to go, but so Wali, it's a long journey how it happened. Now Wali decided he has tried it once, he will try it again. So before he tries to kill me, I will kill him. And Wali tried repeatedly to kill him. And when that didn't, now Sugriv to some extent understood Wali's mind. So he was able to anticipate which way, where Wali will come, how he will attack. And Sugriv managed to elude him. But he realized that, I can't keep running away like this. I have to find some safe sanctuary. So finally, he found an area right next to Wali's kingdom where a sage had cursed him. Matang Rishi had cursed him that you cannot come in this area. And he found a safe sanctuary over there. Now there he was living. But this incensed Wali even more. He's right next to me, but I can't get to him. I was in Singapore giving this class, and after that, somebody in the audience started laughing. Everybody was sharing a laugh. I said, what happened? So then one of them said that this is how China feels about Taiwan. Anyway, without getting into politics, but the point is, it's so close, but you can't do anything. So he decided, I have to do something to get back at Wali. So at Sugriv. And therefore he said that, if I cannot hurt you, I will hurt those whom you care for. When Sugriv had fled, he had left his wife behind. The Wali took Sugriv's wife for himself. And there can be misunderstandings, there can be conflicts, but there are certain boundaries. When they are crossed, relationships become almost irreparable. So this is what had happened to Sugriv. Now because of this betrayal, Sugriv had been very, very suspicious. He was living as a fugitive, constantly running for safety. So at this particular point, they were living on top of a mountain, and suddenly he heard some sounds coming. He was, what kind of sounds are these? He was lived in the forest, so his ears were attuned to various forest sounds. And this didn't seem to be like the sound of any animal. So he looked and he saw a strange sight. At first glance, the two people were coming and they were dressed like sages. But they're carrying bows and arrows. Their physique was not at all of sages. So he says, who are these people? Have they come here to kill me? Have they been sent by Wali? He immediately scampered back to the top of the hill where they had their cave, where they were staying. And he called Hanuman and Jambavan. There were two of his associates there. He says, we've got this danger over there. They all came out of the cave, started looking. And Jambavan said, these two just look like travelers. He says, why are you so suspicious? And he says, no, they might be here to assassinate me. Can't you see their weapons? He said, okay, and if they had come here to assassinate, they are not trying to hide their presence at all. Ram was in agony, in separation from Sita. And then, at that time, he was lamenting, he was in agony. He was expressing his angst. And he says, they don't seem to be a threat at all. Better find out what's happening. So he said, Hanuman, you go. And you take on a form. Don't reveal your identity immediately. Go and find out. So basically here, the first response of Sugriv was suspicion. Now Ram had done nothing to hurt him in any way. But he's just carrying the memory from the past. And that is understandable. It may be undesirable, but it is completely understandable. So, we'll talk about 3 steps in the journey toward developing trust. And I'll use an acronym, PET. So, PET can be a noun which refers to a pet that we adopt. PET can also be a verb. Like pet someone means to be affectionate to someone. So we need to, our own mind can be filled with anxiety. It can be filled with insecurity. and then we need to gently pet our mind and take it forward. Now, this applies to trust in our relationship with others. It can apply to trust also in our relationship with our spiritual teachers. So this applies to all relationships. To some extent, it can apply to a relationship with the Lord also, but that's a different subject. We're not focusing on that here. So the first P is prudence. Does anyone know what prudence means? Yes, prudence is basically it's practical caution. When I ask in India people know this only as the name of a toothpaste. A toothpaste called Prudence. You know it? Prudent or Prudence, what is it? Prudent it is, isn't it? Okay, prudent, okay. Or Prudence. Anyway. So, what does practical caution mean over here? That we need to use our intelligence. Basically, in relationships, we could go in two extremes. One is if we are naive. If we are naive, we just trust anyone and everyone. So, trust in relationships. If we are naive, then we will be hurt. Because there are people who will exploit us, who will exploit our trust. That's just the nature of the world. If we have, if we have not met anyone like that, then we are fortunate. But our fortune will run out. So we can't stay like that. Now, quite often, when we experience some kind of, when we are hurt by someone, we go to the other extreme. And this is the extreme of cynicism. Where here our heart may be hurt, but here our heart becomes hard. It becomes cold. It becomes lonely. So cynicism means we just don't care for anyone. There's one American comedian, he said, I love humanity. It is just human beings I can't tolerate. So we need in between these two. Between naive and being cynical is being prudent. Prudent means we are cautious. We're cautious, but at the same time, we need to take steps forward. We can't just live with walls around our heart all the time. So, practical steps, okay? We don't just leap into trusting others, but we don't hold ourselves also. So, prudent means, you could say cautious steps. So, Sugriv was a little bit on the side of cynicism, but when he sent Hanuman, and then Hanuman and Ram had a very sweet interaction. So in the Ramayana, there is this relationship. There's a relationship within the Leela. Within the Leela, Hanuman and Ram are meeting for the first time. Beyond the Leela, beyond the specific story, Hanuman is the eternal devotee of the Lord. The two of them met each other, and then it was a very joyous meeting. And then Hanuman lifted Ram and Lakshman on his body. He still had some powers with him. So he lifted him on his shoulders and then he carried them forward. And they came to the top of the mountain. There, Hanuman introduced Sugriv. So actually Ram said that I am separated from Sita and I am searching for Sita. She has been abducted. And I am looking for a Sugriv to form an alliance with. Now Hanuman was delighted. He's looking for my master. Now, when Sugriv was introduced to Ram, there was still some hesitation was there. And that hesitation is natural. But with respect to prudence, the first thing that happened was that there was common sense. Like if somebody is coming with an excuse or an alibi, somebody is coming with making up some reason to come close to us, and then after that they want to hurt us. If Ram had that kind of motive, then Ram didn't have to come to Sugriv to form an alliance? Because Sugriv was an exile. He could have gone to Vali to form an alliance, isn't it? So, if somebody is coming to Sugriv, okay, this person is asking for my help when I have actually nothing to offer to him. Sometimes a suspicion that is there, that we need to use our intelligence. Okay, is this suspicion, is this hesitation reasonable? So that was why ask an exilee. Exilee, what help can an exilee offer? But then the next part, that is where the trust started developing. That was the common experience, the empathy that came from that common experience. How is the experience of Ram and Sugriv similar? Both. Yeah, let's look at similarities. Ram and Sugriv. So similarities. What are the similarities? Both are exiled. Both are and they lost their wives. Anything else? Okay, let's go to the other. Any dissimilarities? Oh yes, that's a big difference, isn't it? So he was threatened. Threatened versus loud. Versus venerated. So in one sense, Sugriv's situation was more difficult. Any other difference? One more major difference. Who was there with them? So who was there with them and who was not there with them? Yeah. So Ram had his friends versus he had his brother with him. Isn't it? So in one sense, some family was there with Ram. But there are some differences. So there are similarities. And generally, whenever trust is to be established, now somehow or the other, we need to see the similarity in the other person. Or if we want to earn someone's trust, we have to show how there is similarity. Now there may be 100% dissimilarity. Is that possible? No. You cannot have 100% similarity, but you don't have 100% dissimilarity also. So now I was here in an interfaith conference in Washington DC. So I was born and brought up in India, and in India there is some level of Hindu-Muslim tensions. I never experienced any direct tensions, and I was in a school and a college where I had Muslim friends also. But we never talked about religion. I was more philosophical. I wouldn't get into what is called as religion. But here, when I came to America, at the interfaith conference, I was talking with a very thoughtful Muslim cleric. And then, after we had a nice discussion, he told me that it's easier for me to talk with moderates of other traditions than extremists of my own tradition. When he spoke that, I realized that there's a great truth in that. Because even in my tradition, there are extremists. And I try to reason with them. They just have such a black and white vision of everything. Anybody who belongs to this group is a terrible person. So there will always be dissimilarities. But I could see that, okay, this person belongs to this tradition, this demographic, therefore they're bad. Or I can say, okay, this person, the way he talks, the way they conduct themselves, so a reasonable person, moderate person. That's similarity. So when we want to develop trust, our focus needs to be on what brings us together, not what makes us different. Now, sometimes what brings us together might be 1%, and what separates us might be 99%. But we begin with what brings us together. So this is where the exercise of intelligence is there. That generally when we interact with people, are there some shared interest? Are there some shared values? Are there some shared purposes that we have? There could be any of these. Generally speaking, when we talk about shared, we need any of these things. No, this is what makes a person a VIP. Values, interests, or purposes. A VIP means it's a person who is, we consider, maybe worthy enough for me to put some trust in. So something similar has to be. So there was this similarity between between Sugriv and Ram. Now after this happens, if you see later on, when Hanuman comes to Lanka and is with, he sees Sita. Sita is at a place where she is very suspicious. Ravan has already tried to trick her by acting as if he was a sage. And then Ravan is also later tried to trick her by saying that Ram has been killed. He brings a look-alike of Ram's body and the head chopped off. So naturally Sita is going to be suspicious. So what does Hanuman do? Hanuman speaks the glories of Ram. He doesn't just speak the glories of God, he speaks more, he speaks with the devotion. He speaks glories which are very special and intimate. Ram has shared some things with him. And that's how that trust is earned. So basically, now that is more talking from the side of earning the trust. But generally, if we have to repose the trust, we have to find something similar in the other person. And so there will always be some people who will have something similar with us. We can't say nothing is similar. That's prudence, that's small cautious steps. But after that, that's the first step. I have to put trust. I cannot just live alone all the time. I need to put trust. But I use my intelligence. It's like if I'm entering into, you want to swim in water, it's an unknown water body. We don't just jump in. Okay, I put my leg in and see how cold it is. So that brings us to the next part. What is the acronym? Yeah, acronym is so PE. E is experience. Experience means we try it out. We use our first we use our prudence, our intelligence to evaluate, to estimate, we could say. Then we use our experience to evaluate. Okay, I share something with somebody. How does that person react? Now we open our heart a little bit, and that person immediately judges or condemns or criticizes. Okay, maybe here there cannot be much of understanding happening. So it's sometimes we share something which is confidential, and then tomorrow it's on that person's Facebook page. Well, there we understand this person cannot be very trustworthy. The idea is with experience. So trust can be earned in different ways. So when Ram told his story, and then Sugriv told his story, and Ram said, "You have been grievously wronged. What Wali has done is vicious, and he deserves to be punished." He says, "I will help you regain your family and your kingdom, and then you can help me find Sita." So now, Sugriv had heard about the king of, the prince of Ayodhya. He says, "I have seen Wali's prowess. I haven't seen your prowess." So now Lakshman felt a little incensed. "How dare you challenge my brother's power?" But Ram said, "No, don't get agitated." He says, "So what would you like to see?" Ram said. So he said that, you remember, basically there was a demon named Dundubi, and that demon, his body had been flung by Wali. Wali had killed that demon, and then he had raised his body and whirled it around and flung it to the air, just to show off his strength. And while he had flung the body, the blood from that demon's body had fallen into the sacrificial arena of the sage Matanga, and that's why Matanga Rishi had cursed him. that you have desecrated this area just to show off your power. So I curse you that you will lose your power and you won't be able to come in this area. You'll die if you come in this area. So, but that Nundibi's carcass was still there. So it was a huge carcass. The dead body was there. So Sugriv said, Vali hurled it away. Then Ram just went there and touched it with his toe. Just a little force of his leg. He just flew into the sky and disappeared. Sugriv was impressed. But he said, to be fair, this was just a skeleton. When Vali hurled it away, it had all flesh, it had all muscles on it. It was much heavier. So then Ram took out his bow and he shot an arrow. There was a tree right in front of him, a row of 7 trees. So Saptata Labheta Cha, it is said. He shot the arrow and it went through 1, 2, 3, 4, all the 7 trees. And after that, it went into the ground and it went underground and it went underground, traveled, and then it came out from underground and came back into Ram's quiver. And as Sugriv was watching, his eyes were becoming wider and wider. His mouth was falling more and more open. And finally, when the arrow came back into Ram's quiver, Sugriv just fell at Ram's feet. He says, your power is unmatched. But interestingly, so there was experience. It was Ram demonstrated his prowess. So, and when he saw this power, gradually the trust started developing. So for now, he asked for that demonstration and Ram gave the demonstration. So now what exactly would be the demonstration that will inspire us to have trust? So we experience, we may have to experience, it could be in terms of, we share our concerns or emotions. We share our tasks. We enter someone with some responsibility. And then we see how they do it. Can I count on you? If I tell you to do something, can you do it? If I share something, do you understand it? So there may be different ways in which we may experiment. We may try to have our experience. But it's through experience. We learn. So, okay, this person, I can count on this person. This person, maybe I can't count on this person. So we learn. And if we don't have this experience, or we don't have the courage to even seek the experience, then we will never learn whether the person is trustworthy or the person is not trustworthy. And this means that it may not always be right. Sometimes experiences can go wrong. Even with respect to Sugriv also, Ram told him, you go and challenge Vali for a fight. But the first time when he went and challenged Vali for a fight, Vali just bet him and Ram didn't do anything. Ram had his reasons, but that was again a test for his faith. You said you will do this. And Ram said that actually, you look so similar. I was afraid that I might shoot you. Now Ram is God, Ram can recognize everyone. But here from the perspective that both of them were monkeys and both of them were powerful monkeys, Ram didn't want to have any doubts. But Ram didn't want to have any confusion, but that could have caused some hesitation. So maybe I can't trust you. But then he trusted him again. So it's a journey, it's a gradual process. So through our experience, we try out. And then incrementally, the door of our heart can be opened. It has to be opened, but it has to be gradually. And then that brings us to the last part. T is transcendence. Now, transcendence, what does it mean in this context? That if we consider later on, another incident of reposing trust is when Vibhishan comes. And at that time, the various Vanaras are saying that he is a member of the Rakshasa dynasty. He's the brother of Ravana. How can we trust him? He's probably a plant. He's planted in our midst. We can't trust him. At that time, Lord Ram exhibits his transcendence. He says that if anybody comes and surrenders to me, Sakrudeva prapannoyam, even once a person comes and says, Tavasmi iti achate, says, I am yours, Then abhayam sarvada tasmai. Fearlessness forever. Dadamyetad pratam mama. That is my vow. I will grant fearlessness. So this is Lord Ram's promise. Now, so Lord Ram is just putting faith in Vibhishan. Now, of course, Vibhishan vindicates that faith. He lives up to that faith. This is at the transcendental level. But how does that apply to us? In our relationships, if our vision is, see, I am here and say the other person is here. And if all that we are seeing is relationship in these terms, okay, I do something for that person and that person does something for me, then it's a very limiting vision. It is a valid vision, but actually beyond it all, over above us is the Lord. And when we are trusting someone, when we are caring for someone, when we are serving someone, it is not just that person we are trusting, it is the Lord whom we are trusting through that person. So the idea is that, like I said, when a newborn child trusts his mother. The mother is of course offering love to the child. The mother is offering her breast milk to the child. The most intimate acts of affection. But then, it is not that the mother does anything special to manufacture milk in her breast at that time. It is the God who sent a child into her womb and into the world through her womb also sends milk in her breast for that child. So it is when somebody offers affection to us, it is that person offering affection, but it is also the Lord offering affection. So the mother's love is very much there for the child. So the breast milk is an expression of the mother's love, but the breast milk is also an expression of God's love for the child, coming through the mother. So when we are, ultimately bhakti is about loving the Lord. And when we are loving the Lord, we don't love the Lord in isolation. I care for God, I don't care for anyone else. We care for others also as parts of God. So now when we are doing this, sometimes the relationships that we have, we may or may not get reciprocation from the other person. That means sometimes we may do a lot for the other person, but the other person may not reciprocate. As I said, versus the other person doesn't just not reciprocate, other person disappoints us or betrays us, that's terrible. But the point is, if we are just having that I and you, that's the only vision of the relationship, it's a limiting vision. Now beyond that is Krishna. And in every relationship, if we are approaching it in the mood of service, then the principle is that when we offer love and service, that will be reciprocated. It may not be through that person all the time. That means sometimes we may do a lot for one person and that person doesn't value us. But then there are some other people, we don't value them so much, but they always are affectionate and kind to us. And we'll see this happens in our life. So in general, when we are offering love and service, that never goes in vain. If we understand that, okay, I'm caring for this person, but I'm caring for this person because this person is a part of Krishna. So I'm caring for this person and I'm caring for Krishna because this person is part of Krishna. So then, if that person doesn't reciprocate, it's disappointing. But that doesn't mean that whatever we did went waste. Because Krishna has observed that. And Krishna will reciprocate through different channels. So here, that's why this transcendental vision, a vision of our relationships that transcends just the immediate, that's important. So what does this mean? Practically, I'll talk about 2 points over here. That in general, in any relationship, Some relationships themselves are voluntary. Say if we have friends, we have we have neighbors, we have casual acquaintances. Now, if things don't work out, we say, I don't want to spend any time with this person. We could just end the relationship or just bring the relationship down to a very minimal casual level. But there are obligatory relationships. We may have some colleagues with whom we have to work. We have our family. We don't get to choose our family. So in every relationship, there is an obligatory part and there is a voluntary part. But sometimes we say you're going beyond the call of duty. There's an obligatory part and there's a voluntary part. So nowadays, the idea is that if I don't get any reciprocation in the relationship, why am I even in this relationship? So the obligation, that is almost minimized nowadays to, it's almost become like an option. I don't need to be in this at all. But in every relationship, relationships have a sanctity to them. There's an obligatory part. So the obligatory part we do. But if you're not getting reciprocation, then what goes beyond the obligatory part, the voluntary, we may not invest ourselves that much in the relationship. And that means, okay, Krishna, there are two kinds of people in life. Some people bring happiness wherever they go, and some people bring happiness whenever they go. Well, that's two extremes. But we have, broadly speaking, in our life, some people, if we consider our relationships, some people being with whom gives us strength. We look forward to being with them. We feel warm, we feel cheerful, we feel energized by being with them. Some people, being with them requires strength. Like when we go and talk with those people, like we are walking into a minefield. Every single word we have to watch. And what will trigger what? We don't know. So, in our relationships, we will have relationships that give us strength and there are relationships that require strength. Now, we may like, I only want the relationship to give me strength. Well, that won't be very fulfilling, because relationships that require strength also help us grow. They also help us to become a better person. But the point is that if our relationships are all the relationships where we require strength only, then we will get exhausted. Say, if we have 10 meetings in a day and all of them are people with whom we have difficulties, then by the end we will become a difficulty for others. We won't be able to sustain ourselves. So we need to have that intelligent balance. That, okay, there are some people interacting with whom gives me strength, and I look forward to that interaction. I invest myself more in that interaction, that relationship. And there are others who, it's my duty, so I'll be with them. But it is, maybe I won't invest myself so much in it. And these are not necessarily static categories. Today somebody might be giving me strength, but tomorrow it may happen that some misunderstanding happens in the relationship, something happens, some issue comes up, they may go into the other category. Or somebody from the category who requires strength, we may develop a good relationship with them. So things change. But broadly, we need to maintain our emotional balance. When we make sure that the relationships that give us strength, they are, broadly speaking, more than the relationship that requires strength. It will not be in quantity, it could be in quality also. Somebody whom we really value, whether it's 5 minutes with them, and then that may give us strength for the rest of the day to feel the difficulties. But we need to take inventory like that. So what does this mean, give strength? It is that person cares for us, but it's also Krishna expressing love and care to us through that person. When Dhruva is insulted, at that time, his mother has been the center of his life till then. His father has been formal, little cold, and in this particular time, when Suruchi pushes him off his father's lap, his father remains silent. Hurts Dhruva terribly. He knows his children are very sensitive. He knows that there's something going on and this particular woman doesn't really care for me much. But he expected his father to care. So sometimes the harshest words of our opponents don't hurt us as much as the silence of our friends. So Dhruva doesn't get, his anger is not towards Suruchi, his stepmother. His anger is towards his father. You didn't let me sit on your lap, I will get a bigger kingdom than what you have. I'll sit on a bigger throne. So now his mother, what does she do at that time? She's heartbroken to see her darling child in such distress. She's, I can't help you, but if you really have set your mind on getting a big kingdom, you have to go to Vishnu. This Vishnu can offer you more love than millions of mothers like me. Now, what does this mean? Her love for her child is real, but Vishnu's love is far greater. So when we experience love in the world, in these relationships, in this world, in our relationships, that's like a drop. When the drop can be extraordinarily fulfilling, but if the drop is so fulfilling, how much more will be the ocean? So for all of us, if we find out in which relationships we get strength. So there's 2 points, how they're connected, that obligatory and voluntary. There are some relationships we look forward to. That means we make more time for them, we invest more energy in them. Some relationships, they require strength for us. So we do the obligatory part. We don't just break the relationship. We do the obligatory part and we move on. In that way, when we function, I could summarize this as value those who value us. And don't overvalue those who devalue us. There are some people who just, no matter what we do, they are never going to appreciate us. Sometimes we might be unfavorably compared to a sibling by our parents. Sometimes we may be compared by society with some peer. Oh, they've got this and they've got that and they've got this, they got a bigger house and they got this and they got that. Some people, we may spend our entire life trying to get one word of approval from them. And, getting one word of approval from them might be more unlikely than the likelihood of a rainstorm in the Sahara Desert. It may never happen. So now that doesn't mean that we just have to reject the relationship. It just means don't overvalue them. So there are some people who are devaluing us, don't overvalue them. And there are people who value us. So we need to learn to value them. Sometimes when people value us, we just start taking them for granted. This person is always there, this person is always kind to me, always nice to me. This person is always there, we take them for granted. Value those who value us and don't overvalue those who devalue us. This way, why are we doing this? We are seeing that, yes, it is ultimately the Lord who is offering me love, affection, care. And the Lord can offer love and affection, care through different channels. So sometimes one channel or one person may be primarily the object of service for me. So I offer service, I may not get much from that person. But somebody else may be the source of affection for me. So when we have this vision, we are not just reciprocating with other people. We are reciprocating with the Lord. Then that transcendental vision makes trust easier. Then we are not just constantly insecure in every action. Am I wasting my time? Am I wasting my time? Am I wasting my time? Is this person going to disappoint me? Yeah, people will disappoint us. It's not just people will disappoint us. It is we will disappoint people. Not only we will disappoint people, we will disappoint ourselves also at times. Isn't it? So that's life. There will be disappointment. But through even this disappointment, there can be growth. And when this happens, so if I am here and say there are many people around me, so ultimately we are linking with the Lord through each of them. And sometimes one link may be stronger and sometimes another link might be stronger. So what happens is sometimes one link might be the link where we are only, in a particular relationship, we are only giving primarily. That's what is required in some relationship. In some relationship, it might be only receiving. It's not that black and white, but broadly the principle I'm saying is there might be much more giving than receiving in some relationship. So in that way, we will find that if we offer love and service, it will never be lost. It may not be reciprocated by that person, but it will be reciprocated by some other person. And ultimately, it will be reciprocated by the Lord. And by this vision, we all can move forward that in the exercise of loving and trusting others in this world, we are also learning to love and connect with, love and trust our Lord. That's how the relationship in this world can be like a preparatory ground for us, for our relationship with our Lord. And that relationship, now all these relationships, they can be wonderful in their own way, they can be dreadful in their own way, but they are non-enduring. But through the non-enduring relationships, we all can actually be developing our one relationship that is enduring. This is the spirit of that well-known verse. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva, tvameva bandhuscha sakha tvameva, tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva, tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. So this verse is saying, you are my mother, you are my father, you are my sibling, you are my friend, you are my wisdom, you are my wealth. You, O Lord, are my everything. What this means is, not literally that the mother and father are God. What it means is that whatever love and affection I am getting from my mother, it's ultimately coming from you, O Lord. Whatever friendship and kindness I am getting from my siblings, from my friends, it's coming from you, O Lord. Whatever shelter, whatever strength I get from my intelligence, from my wealth, it's all coming from you, O Lord. So that vision to see beyond these things, that doesn't mean we reject or devalue the people involved, but we also see the bigger picture. And then that way the horizontal relationships are the relationship with others. They become the preparatory ground. They become like the rehearsal for us for developing our vertical relationships. So I'll summarize what we discussed today. We discussed broadly 4 points. First was we discussed about the idea of reposing trust. It is difficult because we have negative experiences. Negative experiences can range from disappointment to even betrayal. And when betrayal happens, it can have multiple negative consequences. Basically it leads to distrust of that person. It can lead to distrust of others, or rather of everyone, and distrust of ourselves. And all of these can be very distressing overall. So, but in this context, we discussed that when we are trying to function in our lives, that distress is unavoidable. So when we talk about adversity, it is going to come in. What are 3 kinds of adversity we discussed? Calamity, atrocity, and stupidity. Yes. So this is, you may feel like sacking ourselves. Sack is punish or fire. You sack someone. You just want to sack all relationships. You don't want to do anything with it. But we discussed how to move forward. So what was the acronym we discussed? PET. P was prudence. Prudence is caution or cautious intelligence, practical intelligence. So the 2 extremes would be being naive or being cynical. So in between these 2 is trust. So in this we discussed how that faith and doubt, they can be opposites, but faith and doubt can also be complementary. That they are like the What are the metaphor for this? Excellent. Brakes and the accelerator. So basically, we naturally have doubts, but from that, gradually as we take steps forward, we move ahead. And so we use our intelligence. Okay, I need to develop, I need relationships. So if we are naive, our heart will be hurt. But if we are cynical, our heart will become cold. So we don't want either. So in between is this prudence. What is the next part? He was experience. So we discussed the example of Vali and Sugriv and Ram basically, primarily. So Sugriv, the prudence was there was common sense, and then there was the common experience, the empathy. We discussed similarity and dissimilarity. So when we want to develop relationships, we need to look at the similarities between each other. So with respect to experience, what do we think? It's small steps. We open our hearts. We try to see the similarity. So we try to see the similarity, or at least start by seeing the similarity. And then there could be three things that are shared. What are the shared things? Values, interests, or purposes. So, purposes could be that, we have to do a job together. That could be a purpose. Interest could be, okay, I have interest in spirituality, I have interest in this music, I have interest in that. It could be values. Okay, we also basically, we need to find some similarity. And then based on that, we start opening our heart. And the last was transcendence. Transcendence was a little complicated, but the idea is that we are not just relating with the other person. We are relating with the Lord through the other person. And it is the other person may be offering affection to us, but ultimately the Lord who is offering affection to us through the other person. So in every relationship, discuss 3 points over the relationship. There is a obligatory part and there is a voluntary part. So we don't have to break the relationship if we don't get reciprocation. We focus on the obligatory part. We understand that some relationships may be which they give us strength, and the others require strength. They deplete our strength, but they can also help us grow. So ultimately, if we are giving affection, the Lord will give us reciprocation. So it will be like, say, if there are different people, so some people may reciprocate that love. From others, there may be no reciprocation. But it is that ultimately, if we give love and service, we will be, through the relationship in this world, we'll also be developing our relationship with our Lord. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any quick questions or comments? Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, please, yeah.
Thank you for the wonderful class, Prabhuji. Yesterday, regarding this question is regarding the yesterday's class. We talked about the false accusation. So if someone is accusing us falsely, and then they are realizing that, they made a mistake, and we forgive them also, but still, we are not able to, still we are thinking always that, this person may react again in future also. And also, so, we are not moving with them how we were originally. So we are always cautious about, so we are restricting our emotions.
Good point. I mean, it's perfectly natural. And we can't expect ourselves. It's like, say, if I had lifted a heavy weight and maybe I got a fracture or a slip disc because of that. And every time I'm going to see a big suitcase, I'm going to be a bit cautious about lifting that suitcase. So we have to also be understanding with ourselves. It's unreasonable to expect that that the past wounds will automatically just go away. So it's like, if I am here, there is a difference between forgiving and trusting. Forgiving is for the past, and this can be given. Trusting is for the future, and it has to be earned. So, say if we lend somebody some money, and they just lost it, or they did something with it, we say that okay, it was careless, they don't return on time or whatever. We may say, okay, I'll forgive you for that. But that doesn't mean we're going to lend them money again, isn't it? So there's a difference. Forgiveness can be given, trust has to be earned. So yes, we may forgive them, but we will observe their behavior. And then over a period of time, if that person repeatedly is trustworthy, is acting in a way that is consistent with who they are speaking they are, then gradually we may need to shift our mental focus. See, it is like the same points. Say, suppose we had to recommend someone. Maybe somebody is going to be spiritually initiated, or somebody is to be given some service. So we could take the same point, say, he is stable now, but he had problems in the past. He had problems. So now take the same set of points. He had problems, but he's stable now. Is there a difference? What is the difference? Okay, yeah, it's more forgiving. Well, forgiving is a good one way of looking at it. Basically, if you see, the first is expressing some reservation. He's stable now, but he had problems. On the other hand, the second is almost like a recommendation. He had problems, but he's stable now. So basically, sometimes we cannot delete our past memories, but we can reorder them. So okay, that this person had hurt, this person had accused me, their accusation hurt. But afterwards, there are so many times when misunderstanding could have occurred. But this person has trusted. This person has acted in an honorable way. So therefore, there is no erasing of memories for us. Of course, time can erase memories. We can't consciously erase our memories. That's why I say forgive and forget. Forget, there's no forget button. But forget basically means, when you say forget means don't consider that too important. It means reorder those memories. So this has to be done constantly, consciously, and it will take time. Okay. Any other questions? So,
Hare Krishna Prabhu. It was a wonderful class. Thank you, Prabhu. So my question is, you said don't ever value those who devalue us. To what extent do we like we can't fully cut off them, right? So what are like the levels that we can value them, or like, I mean, can you shed more light on that?
yeah. Yes, an American comedian who said that, my wife and I, we drive separate cars, we live in separate rooms, we eat in different kitchens, we watch different TVs, we're doing everything possible to keep our marriage together. I think it's Woody Allen who said that. Now there's no marriage there at all, isn't it? If there's that much level of distancing, utter separation. So the point is that sometimes in relationships, we just need to lower our expectations from some people. So some people may just not be made in such a way that they can offer, say, emotional support. Some people may just be wired to be forgetful. Then we can say, no, you should remember. But we tell them to do something, they just forget it. Well, if that is just the way they are, we have to, okay, if I need something urgent to be brought, I can't count on this person. That doesn't mean that the person is a bad person. It could be if they do deliberately don't do what we want them to do. But it's basically lowering our expectations. So if there is abuse, then that's a different dimension. But if there is just a certain level of neglect or disappointment or incompetence, whatever word you want to use of it, then we just learn to lower our expectations. So I was introduced to Krishna Bhakti in Pune. Then, because of some services for Radhanath Maharaj, I came to Mumbai. So Mumbai, I met one of the leaders, and he told me right in the beginning. He said, if you want to get anything done, come to me. If you want to talk, go to someone else. He said, I don't have time to talk with people. If you have philosophical discussions, if you have other kind of issues. So he was very clear about the what he could do and what he would not or could not do. So it's not that simple in our relationships, but in general, over a period of time, we start understanding what to expect from whom. Now, of course, if certain expectations are not fulfilled, and we may get that kind of fulfillment in other relationships, those relationships have to be within the boundaries of dharma. But broadly speaking, lowering expectations is what we need to do with respect to some things. Okay. Thank you. You want to add anything, sir? No, he has lowered his expectations from me. That's why he's sitting far away. So thank you very much. Shri Ramachandra Bhagwan ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki, Gaur Premanande. It is a joy to be here. I've been coming to America for more than 10 years, but I didn't even know that this place, we had such a beautiful center over here. Actually, I've come to Austin only twice. Not come to Texas so much, but we got a beautiful place with a lot of potential and a very warm community atmosphere. So I pray that Krishna shower his blessings on all of you. You keep coming closer to each other and closer to Krishna, as Srila Prabhupada envisioned as one of the purposes of our movement. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for visiting our temple and enlightening on this topic, deepening our relationship, how to earn trust and address misunderstandings based on Ramayana. The class is wonderful, Prabhu, and detailed explanation presenting on the whiteboard, maybe blackboard. Yeah, and so wonderful, unique quality you perform. You summarize the entire class at the end. Even if we sleep in the middle, we can end of the class. We can gain everything.
I have learned to lower my expectations.
Wonderful, bro. Yeah. Thank you for visiting and come again and again, Prabhu. Visit us. And thank you for your blessings. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. I don't want to repeat what you said, but thank you very much, Prabhu. We are very grateful to you. So let's show our gratitude to Prabhu by loudly chanting Hare Krishna mantra 3 times. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu ki jai. So devotees, we have fruit prasadam. So while going out, please pick up some prasadam also on the way. And also in terms of books, If you want Prabhu's books, like Ramayana book is there, and also Gita quotes, that book is there. So if you want, so please contact Satyarupa Gauranga Prabhu. We already have some bookings. So Prabhuji, I'll work with Ananteshwar Prabhu and get the books. Wonderful. So we'll do that. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.